So if making $10,000 in 1 month or scaling past $100,000 per month is of any interest to you, this system is for you. Let's dive in and make it happen. So, as I said, there's some common misconceptions when it comes to actually scaling a company or making, that $10,000 in 30 days. Now, you don't need ads, okay? They're expensive and, a lot of people just don't know what they're doing. And you also don't need some massive growth organic audience. You don't need to be dancing and doing silly things on TikTok. You don't need to be selling your soul to the social media demons or anything like that. All you need is a proven system. Okay. And this system that I'm about to break down to you has generated companies millions of dollars in revenue. Now, the framework focuses on three key kind of ideologies, right? So the first is focused on using leverage inside the business to make money. Now, these are things like using automation, understanding your ICP very, very clearly, and being incredibly relevant to the audience, right? On top of that, number two, we're going to focus on time efficient methods. So instead of putting, money into ads, which can be a long-term investment because the algorithm has to kind of warm up and understand who your audience is and who your ads are resonating with. Similarly, when you're doing organic content, it's not, you get people, they post one video and they go viral, but it's very, very rare. Majority of people, they spend weeks, months, even years posting content on a consistent basis every single day for a very, very long time before they actually start to see results. Instead, we're going to prioritize methods that can quickly generate you revenue at relatively low cost. So we're going to focus on cold outbound specifically. Also, we're going to prioritize short-term gains. This framework focuses on emphasizing efficient, fast-track income generating tasks over long-term strategies. Now, here's kind of the areas that you want to focus on most. You need to define your niche. You need to understand who you're serving. Now, if you already have an existing business and you've already got clients' results, fantastic. You probably already have a niche, or you have an understanding of what a niche is. Now, to actually define a niche, you need to identify a specific group of people or businesses that share common characteristics, challenges, or goals. Now, these could be defined by the industry, the job roles that they're in, the company size, the location, or just shared interest in general. But you need to make sure that the niche aligns with your expertise and the service that you're actually providing. Now, number two, this is kind of an add-on on terms of understanding your niche, right? But you need to understand the pain they're in. You need to understand their desired outcomes. You need to understand what keeps them up at night. You need to understand what makes them happy. Now, you need to do this by researching their problems within the niche. And the problems obviously need to relate to the service that you're looking to provide or the product that you're looking to provide. So you need to deep dive into their daily challenges, their frustrations, their inefficiencies, and determine how your service or your product will solve that pain for them. Number three, you need to identify buying triggers. Now, we're going to cover this in a lot more detail at a later stage, but this is kind of related to what things happen that are a sign that this particular person or this particular business might be a buyer or in a buying kind of mood, you could say, or ready to buy. Now, these can include things like business milestones, like recently getting funding, if they're actively hiring, have they launched a new product, are they expanding into different markets and different locations, and even strategic shifts. Now, these triggers often create a need for external solutions or open up the possibility that that might be needed. Finally, crafting tailored messaging. This is all centered around developing your message market fit. So you need to actually develop, based on all this research, based on the niche, based on the pain points, and based on the triggers, you need to develop a message that is going to resonate with that market. And, in this video, we'll explain how to do that further. Now, to actually, really, really understand what your niche is, there's different ways you can do it. So the first way that I recommend is research within communities. So there's communities on LinkedIn, Reddit, Facebook, and it's very likely that people within your niche or people that you potentially might want to target are spending their time there. They're talking there. They're asking questions. They're expressing the areas that they're having issues with. And this is all a great way for you to understand their pain, understand who's in the most pain, and really define your niche. Obviously, this relates to assessing the problems. Once again, you're going to look in these communities, you're going to read them, you're going to really understand the questions that they're asking and the solutions that are being presented to them. Then, obviously, you validate the niche, and then once you have done all of them steps, you should have an understanding of how you want to target your efforts. So there should be a specific group of people that are facing a specific problem that you can solve with your very specific solution. Now, here's just a very, very brief list of the tools that you're going to need to actually achieve this 10K in 30 days. So the first thing you're going to need is Clay. Now, Clay is a very, very powerful AI-powered and basically an end-to-end RevOps platform, incredibly powerful. You can do AI personalization. You get access to loads of different data providers and enrichment tools and so on. We're going to use Smart Lead as our sequencer. So this is how we're actually going to send emails. Okay, we're going to send all of the campaigns that we build with Smart Lead. You're going to also need a GPT API or access to ChatGPT. We're going to use Apollo for our lead lists. We're going to use Miro for just process mapping. We're going to use Maldoso for inboxes, Google Workspace, and also Microsoft Office for inboxes as well. So this is how we're going to actually send these emails at scale. Now, in terms of inbox setup, I recommend having 3 different providers. So first being Google, so Google Workspace. 2 being Microsoft 365 or Microsoft Office, and 3 the private infrastructure. So this is the private infrastructure, Maldoso. Obviously, we've got Google Workspace and 365. Now, in terms of the amount of inboxes that you need to get, I recommend getting 60 inboxes and buying 20 domains from Porkbun. I forgot to add that, but you need to buy 20 domains from Porkbun, 3 inboxes per domain, and you're going to warm up for 2 weeks inside Smart Lead. So you're going to warm up the emails, and this is just going to help with deliverability. So as you can see with this diagram, although it's a little bit different to what I've advised, each domain has 2 inboxes instead of 3, but you get the gist. The idea is that you have an equal split between the amount of Google, Outlook, and private sending infrastructure inboxes. This is just to promote diversification. Diversification allows you to almost stick and move, So instead of just being reliant on one sending infrastructure, which in essence is putting all of your eggs in one basket, you're going to have 3. So if one sending infrastructure stops sending or one ESP stops sending as effectively, you can scale the others and reduce the volume from that ESP. If the others aren't performing as good, then you can do the same. Now, as a general rule, right, the more volume, the more inboxes you have, the more volume you can do, which in essence means the more leads. Now, you do want to be careful of not burning your total addressable market, but simply, the more leads that you get, the more likely you're going to close deals, and the more money you make. So you're going to have a much better time or easier time hitting that $10,000 in a month target. And yeah, so inboxes, send them volume, standard. So at this stage, you sign up for Smart Lead, you begin the 2-week warm-up once you've bought your inboxes and you've set them up. Now we have 2 weeks, right? In this 2-week period, this is where the development of the campaigns and kind of building everything to prepare for sending is going to start. So in essence, we are at day 14. Well, we're approaching day 14. Now we're just doing kind of the campaign building, ready to start sending. So the lead generation, we have a 2-week window to generate the leads and close the deals. Now, before we actually go on to kind of sending, and we actually need to have an offer. We have to offer our services to that cold audience. Now, what a lot of people are tempted to do is just offer exactly what they do and go for a hard CTA. So there's 2 kinds of CTAs, right? The first one is hard. So a hard CTA is pretty much buy my service like right now from this email. Another example is book a call with me right now from this email. A soft CTA is just softer, right? So it's, can I send you a short Loom video? Can I send you this valuable lead magnet? And in essence, the soft CTA, in my opinion, is more likely going to get you a yes. In certain circumstances, you may use a hard CTA, like if there's low competition, if your solution is just really, 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 really good and is already an incredibly good offer. But for the majority of people, it's not going to be. So you actually have to create a cold email offer, an offer that's going to resonate with cold markets. So when selling to cold traffic, your offer must be low activation energy. So it should require minimal effort or commitment from the prospect to say yes. The cold audiences are unfamiliar with you, they don't know you. So friction, like high costs, complex steps, excessive time demands, this is going to scare them away. Simplify the offer, make it easy to understand, quick to engage with, and deliver fast. Now, whether it's a free trial, a one-click demo, a compelling lead magnet, a short video, you need to lower the barrier to entry to spark interest and build up that trust. Just remember that a cold email offer is just to get a yes. That's all you're doing with cold email. You're getting a yes. Once they're a yes, they're a lead. Once they're a lead, you have permission to do what you want with it. You can cold call them, you can connect with them on LinkedIn, you can follow up forever. The point is that they're now a lead and they've almost admitted, or they can recognize that they have a problem and that you're potentially a solution for that, just because they said yes to your low friction offer. Now, I just want to give you some examples, right? If you're a SEO agency, a free website audit with actionable SEO recommendations, it's an okay offer, right? But for you to actually do an SEO audit, you may need access to backend systems. You may need to, access their website directly and stuff like that. Unless if you can just do it by just, at face value without needing to interact with them or asking them for any external access, then that would be fine. But for cold, it might not be that ideal. So instead, a 5 keyword ranking report, which compares the prospect's website in comparison to the competitors that they know about, that's a good one because it addresses something that they're familiar with, which is they're competitive, and shows where kind of they stand against them. Another decent idea is a personalized blog topic idea list or keyword idea list to go with that, which is optimized for their specific use case and industry. That is great. If you're a PPC agency, a free Google Ads performance review isn't that great. It sounds good, but you would need access to their ad accounts, which is kind of high friction. Many companies aren't just going to want to give away and give you access to the ad account. You're a stranger. A 10-minute ROI calculator session, once again, it's not really that valuable. There's loads of ROI calculator sessions, and you could actually just send that over email. Just tell them. So not that great. But free ad copy ideas tailored to their target audience and goals, perfect. Because it's something that they can implement themselves if they wanted to go away and do it. And it just shows that you've done your research and you've actually invested into their business. If you're a web developer, a homepage, speed, and UX consultation, once again, not great. Not really something that they'll care about, right? But a free mock-up of a modernized website, header and landing page redesign that you can deliver to them and show them, fantastic, right? A 5-point checklist to improve their website's mobile usage. That's not really great. I'm going to add X to that because it's not the greatest, to be fair. It's not great at all, if I'm being honest. All right. Now, a SaaS product. 7-day free trial with no credit card required. That is great. Access to a mini demo video showcasing the top 3 features that are relevant to their pain points. That is fantastic. A customized report on how the SaaS can reduce costs and save time in their workflow. Not really great, in my opinion. Now we understand how to build our offer. You have multiple things right now. So we have inboxes warming. So we have our sending infrastructure that's warming up, being prepared for us to send. We have we have our offer. So we understand what we're going to be offering over cold email. We have our niche. So we have everything that we need at this point to start building our campaigns. Now, when building campaigns, the first thing we're going to do is build a list in Apollo. We're going to extract it, and then we're going to put that into Clay. Once we put that into Clay, we're going to start context gathering. So context gathering is the process of scraping your list or your list's websites for context. So we're going to do things like scrape the website body, scrape the headline of the website, and we're also going to scrape missing SEO meta descriptions. The meta descriptions will come already in the list from Apollo, but some will be missing, so it's always great just to scrape it, just so we have as much context as possible. The tools that we use to scrape is Zenrose or Serpa. And as I said, we're going to scrape SEO meta descriptions, website body text, and keywords if not already present. And then once we have all of this information, we have everything that we need to do, once we have all this information, we have everything required to do a competitive analysis, lead scoring, and AI personalization. Now, what is competitive analysis and scoring? Now, it's so many things, and it does depend on your use case. But I think a good rule is that you need to check if you can work with the company. And this is normally defined by, it's defined in many different ways, but if you strictly work with B2B companies, you just need to check for that first and foremost. Or even if you only work with D2C brands, you need to check for that too. Obviously, you would have done your filters in Apollo, but some will slip through the cracks. And in my opinion, there's no excuse to not have a very, very well-built and sniper lead list. Then, once you've determined if you can work with the business, if they're a B2B company, if they're a D2C company, whatever it is, you could do further checks, right? So if like you only want to work with agencies and specifically influencer agencies, you can, double down on that check. Finally, what you're going to do is a competitor check. You need to check to make sure that none of your competitors are in the list. Firstly, because you don't want them knowing the messaging that you're using, because they can take it and use it for themselves. And two, you're more likely going to be marked as spam, which we don't want. Now, when we are doing our analysis inside Clay, we run some prompts against the context that we've scraped. So here's a quick prompt for B2B check. Also, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send this document, or I'm going to attach this document somewhere in the description so you have access to it. So don't worry about like screenshotting and stuff like that. But this is the B2B check prompt, and pretty much all it does is just gives AI some examples of what a B2B company is, and the AI will check against that based on the context that we've given it. Okay, then obviously this is the competitor check. The competitor check prompt. Once again, what we do is provide context of what a company does. We also provide it some relevant keywords, and then we make sure that that everybody on the list is not a competitor. Finally, the last thing that we're going to do is make sure that they are the relevant decision makers. So you can play around with all of these prompts, but the idea here is that we're not going to be reaching out or sending emails to anybody that doesn't need to see our emails. Because once again, we're going to get marked as spam if we are, and it's just a waste of resources. So this is why we use this prompt as well inside Clay. The last thing I like to do, which not many people do, I like to check for potential champions. So although someone might not be the CEO or head of marketing, they might be the marketing manager, or they might be the sales manager. And these individuals are potential champions. Now, a champion is someone that is going to root for you, that can fight for your cause. And it's always nice to just build a relationship with them, right? Because at the end of the day, they may have access to the decision maker. And if they have access to the decision maker, they can fight for your service being one that they potentially look at or consider, which is very powerful. So I do like to just, run a separate campaign that is just focused around the champion. Now, data cleanup. We need to clean the data and make sure that nothing is missing. There shouldn't be any empty fields. So the best way, and this is because the worst thing that you can do is not clean your data and format it. The company name and titles of the prospects should be correct. So many people don't do this, and it damages results, and it's just lazy. Like if you're mentioning the company name, there shouldn't be any emojis next to it in the email. So many companies just don't do this. You need to make sure that you're formatting and replacing or finding missing fields such as the company name, title, and LinkedIn URL. Now, to format company names, here's just a prompt that we use, or I use inside Clay, and it's going to format the company name for you, relatively easy. Now, we've done all the cleaning, we've done everything that we needed to do, right? Now, it's time to validate the leads. So in terms of validation, the tools that you need is a Million Verifier and Enrichly. The reason we use both is because with Million Verify, you're going to get some catch-alls. Now, catch-alls are emails that the best way I can describe it is Million Verify is not really sure if they're valid or not. So it limits the size of your lead list. Now, Enrichly allows you to actually verify if the catch-all is safe to send emails to or not. So it actually increases the amount of emails that you can send to you. And why this is great is because these emails that Enrichly is validated, they're very less likely to have been hit or emailed. So you're very likely to get a better response rate and potentially more leads from it. Now we've done everything, and now it's time to actually start building our campaigns out. We've done all of the hard work. We've cleaned our list. We've scored it and analyzed it with AI. We've verified the lead list. We know our niche. We know our offer that we're going to put in the cold emails. We have everything that we need. All we need to do now is write our scripts, wait for the 14 days to be up for warm up, put everything into Smart Lead and start sending. It's as simple as that. We're almost there. Now, there's three main campaign types that you want to be launching. The first one is a trigger-based campaign type. Now, this is used to, it's just a way or gives you a reason to reach out, right? That's relevant. So you look for things like new hires, funding rounds, or social media interactions, and you call that out in the email. You can set up automated monitoring inside Clay. It's not necessarily needed. You can build your list and scrape for these triggers to see if they're present. If they're present, then you can send them to your trigger-based campaign. And then, you'd put all of that into Smart Lead and automate the sending. I just wanted to just give you an example of what that could look like. So here's a quick template. So, hey name, saw the relevant trigger. So this could be, so you recently closed your Series A. And I guess this meant your company's currently growing or looking to expand or looking to get more leads or whatever solution that you provide. And then you put in, we help business type or the company's business type that you're approaching achieve a specific outcome. Then you would implement a case study and a very soft CTA, the one that we've already defined previously. Now, the next campaign type is a lookalike campaign. So this is for people that already have a business, have already driven results and have case studies and stuff like that. And a lookalike campaign is just taking that case study or taking that win that you achieve for a client, using that client and creating a lookalike audience based on that client's persona and profile. And this will basically build you a list that's similar to the existing client that you have, and allow you to have very, very relevant copy and speak to that in your messaging as well, which once again is going to help you book more calls and close more deals. So here's just a very short, quick template. And it's different because now we're going to speak to their title and the fact that, and talk about their company type. And you're going to say, I wanted just to reach out because we helped a similar company. So this is the case study that we used to achieve lookalike case study. Can I send you a short video explaining how we can help you do the same? Soft CTA, no low activation energy. Obviously, you would have already defined your offer for cold email that you would have used in place of this. Then the final campaign that you'd run is called a pain point campaign. Now, this is where you segment your list based on their roles and identify the pain and desires that are specific to each role in regards to your service. Now, every single role will be focused or worried or have a different desired outcome. A CEO may be just focused with overall growth and sustainability of the company, but the CRO or head of sales may be focused on hitting Q4 targets and making sure they're on target for the year, and building maybe a sales team or generating more leads or increasing their close rate and things like that. A CMO may be more focused on CAC and return on investment and them things. And this is why we create these campaigns, right? Because we can make the messaging very, very specific to each persona. You can use ChatGPT for this research. It's very, very simple to do. You can ask it to list the top 10 most painful pain points in relation to a specific role and when it comes to your specific solution. And then you can then use this as a poke the bear question and send to your copy about how you can ease that pain and deliver desired outcome based on the pain that you've addressed. I hope that makes sense. So what this looks like is, hey name, so you're the head of sales at company, and I wanted to ask if hitting your Q4 targets is a priority for you at the moment. If it is, we can help you hit your Q4 targets. Something like that, right? Obviously, it'll be a lot better. You would implement the case study and then obviously have your short and soft CTA. Now, the beauty of all these campaign types is that they actually mix together. So you can use the trigger, the lookalike campaign, and the pain point all in one email. Now, in that case, this would be a part of the trigger campaign because it's the priority. Then you would mix in the pain point campaign and the lookalike campaign because the lookalike campaign is next in priority, and obviously the pain point campaign will just be on its own. But so mixing them all together. I saw that you recently closed your Series A round, and I guess like generating more leads is a priority for you at the moment. If it is, we helped a similar company generate leads that recently got funded. Can I send you a short video explaining how we can help you do the same? Once again, I've just made that up from top of my head. That is not an optimized script, but you get the idea, right? You're using all of the elements to create a powerful script. Okay? So we've covered everything that you need to make $10,000 in the next 30 days. You've built our scripts. We launch our campaigns over that 2-week period. We have enough volume to send 1,000 emails a day, which should book you an average of a minimum 1 meeting a day. Okay? So that's 10 meetings, 20% conversion rate. You've closed at least 2 deals as a minimum. Okay? Cool. Now, just a summary. You're going to research your niche. You're going to validate the problem. You're going to build your cold email offer and execute simple cold email campaigns. That is the process. It's not complex. Now, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Comment below what you'd like me to cover. So if there's any other topics you want me to cover, all things cold email, outbound, clay automation, or sales automation, please let me know. Apart from that, thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day. Peace.